So after months of speculation and fan casting, HBO has finally revealed their choices for the leads in their upcoming The Last of Us series, a pair who will take on arguably one of the most iconic duos in gaming, Joel and Ellie. Now, if you followed my channel for a while, you'll know that I wasn't particularly enthusiastic about the decision to adapt the story of the games directly, and would have preferred a series that moved away from Joel and Ellie to explore other areas in the Last of Us universe, while remaining in canon with the games. But having accepted the fact that this will be an adaptation, I remain hopeful that the series will still be able to deliver something fresh in its narrative. And as far as casting goes, I think HBO has hit the nail on the head with this pairing. So Bella Ramsey has been cast as Ellie. Ramsey is best known for a role as Lyanna Mormont on Game of Thrones, a role that she garnered much acclaim for, establishing Mormont as a fan favourite character in the series. This seems like a pretty safe choice to me. Ramsey is definitely proven to have a presence on screen, and despite the fact that as far as I can tell this will be her first time attempting an American accent, and Lyanna Mormont is a much more stoic character than Ellie, the fact that she was cast in what I would imagine was a highly sought after role indicates to me that she'll do a stellar job pulling off Ellie's resourcefulness, wit, and spunky attitude. Aside from Game of Thrones, Ramsey also played the lead in the CBBC series The Worst Witch, and has numerous voice acting credits, including the title character in the Netflix animated series Hilda. She also plays guitar, which I'm certain the show will utilize at some point. Ramsey is 17, which is actually a lot older than I had thought she was. Based on her Game of Thrones appearance, I assumed she was around 12. Ellie is 13 to 14 in the original game, but Ramsey definitely has the youthful look to play that age. And if this is going to be an ongoing series, we'll likely see her age up to Ellie's 19-year-old appearance in part 2 as the series progresses. While I believe Ramsey is a solid choice for Ellie, the casting that has me really excited is Pedro Pascal as Joel. From Game of Thrones to Narcos, and most recently The Mandalorian, Pascal has quickly grown over the last few years to become one of my absolute favourite actors. He's not somebody I had on my radar for Joel, but the second his casting was announced, I instantly agreed that he was the perfect choice. Beyond just having a list of great performances recently, I think what's so spot on about his casting is that Joel actually mirrors Din Djarin, his character on The Mandalorian, in a lot of ways. Both are mercenaries hired to deliver a package, which later turns out to be a child, and develops a parental bond with them. Pascal perfectly sells that dynamic on The Mandalorian, despite the fact that his face is covered a vast majority of the time, and he's acting across from a puppet. So being given a similar relationship to develop without any hindrance to his performance, and having Ramsey to develop it with, I can imagine Pascal could deliver the performance of his career in this series. His involvement alone is reason enough to be excited. If anybody can deliver a performance to rival Troy Baker's, it's him. One of the main reasons I had never considered Pascal is that I had assumed he'd be too busy with The Mandalorian, since I can't imagine him having the time to star in 2 separate ongoing series at the same time. So that makes me wonder if this will be a mini-series just focused on the first game, with a second series adapting part 2 coming a few years later, or his role in Star Wars will be reduced. I never had any doubt that The Last of Us was going to attract some top-tier actors, but I'm pleasantly surprised by this casting, particularly Pascal's, and I have to admit that it significantly increased my enthusiasm for the series. But while we now have a rough idea of what the core of the series will look like, it'll be interesting to see in the coming weeks which characters will round out the supporting cast. No doubt we're going to be getting casting for characters like Tommy, Marlene, and Tess, but I think there's going to be some casting that will be more telling of the direction the series is going to go in, and how it will divert from the narrative of the original game, if at all. David, Sam, Bill, and Riley would indicate a close adaptation, but if the series is going to include characters introduced in part 2, like Abby, Owen, Jerry, and Dina in the show's first season, it would tell us there's going to be some diversion from the original's narrative. So those are just some of my thoughts on the casting for HBO's The Last of Us. Do you like the choices for the series so far, or is there another set of actors you would have preferred? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, be sure to hit the like button. If you're a fan of The Last of Us, you can check out my video on why I think the series didn't really need Joel and Ellie, or where I think the video games are going to go next. I'll be doing more videos on the series as we get more news, so hit subscribe if you don't want to miss them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.